接下来，请台湾民主基金会董事长及立法院韩国瑜院长点亮第5根蜡烛。For the 5th candle, we would like to invite Chairman of Taiwan Foundation for Democracy, Mr. Daniel Han.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to begin by thanking the Israel Economic and Cultural Office in Taipei, the German Institute, Taipei, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Taiwan Foundation for Democracy for co-organizing this important event. I also want to thank you all for making time to come here today to remember those who lost their lives in the Holocaust. We're also here to pay tribute to those who survived and to acknowledge the sufferings of all who were affected by the dark chapter of human history. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge Mr. Peter Gasper, who is joining us virtually today. I'm grateful for his participation in this year's event and for sharing his harrowing experience with all of us. Every year we come here together to remember those who perished in the Holocaust, as well as those who endured unimaginable sufferings because of this tragedy. We must pledge to never forget this period in history while human dignity was cast aside for political ideology. We should also never stop fighting against discrimination and bigotry. We must also be reminded that there are still countless people who continue to suffer at the hands of authoritarian regimes and dictatorships. Just because they are of different ethnic origin, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or political ideology. In other words, there is still much work needed to be done. In the pursuit of justice and truth, we can learn from Israel and Germany. Israel, in its effort to preserve the historical account of the Holocaust, especially its victims, and Germany in its courage to face the past. In Taiwan, we have been working to ensure that we address the injustices of the past and uncover the truths of atrocities in the authoritarian era. In addition to the annual commemoration of the 228 incident, my government has built a solid foundation for the realization of transitional justice. We elevated the transitional justice as a priority at the highest government level. The Executive Yuan established government bodies to further emphasize the values of transitional justice in policy implementation. The newly amended Political Archives Act came into effect this year on the 77th anniversary of the 228 incident. This is an important element in my government's effort to restore truth in the pursuit of transitional justice. We hope this will further help bring some closure and comfort to the victims of the White Terror era and their families. Even though we have come quite a long way on upholding human rights and fighting against bigotry, the world must continue to confront anti-Semitism and authoritarian aggression. We're also seeing the horrifying effects of such aggressions in Ukraine and in Hamas' terroristic attack on Israel. This is why we stress the importance of working alongside the international community to safeguard what we fought so hard to achieve, that is democracy, freedom, equality, and peace. As part of our collaborative efforts starting from 2021, the Israel office here, our Ministry of Education's Human Rights Resource Center, and Yad Vashan, Israel's World Holocaust Remembrance Center, co-organized workshops and held traveling exhibitions to raise awareness on the history of the Holocaust. We also continue to donate to Yad Eza Lakaba, an NGO that worked with our representative office in Tel Aviv to help provide daily necessities to Holocaust survivors. Through collaboration with our international partners, Taiwan has been proactively taking initiatives to enhance regional religious freedom, to fight against discrimination, and to promote equality. Taiwan will continue to be a strong advocate for human rights and democracy. History has taught us time and again that unity is imperative in combating hatred and developing understanding. As we are confronted with the growing threats of terrorism and authoritarianism, it is even more important that we work together so we can leave the world a better place for future generations. We owe it to the memories of those who lost their precious lives to a tragedy like the Holocaust, and those who sacrificed themselves to protect the value of democracy. We should also remind ourselves to remain vigilant while we reaffirmed our vow to not let this tragedy happen again. In closing, I want to thank everyone for taking part in this meaningful event and for keeping the names and stories of the victims of the Holocaust living in our memory. Thank you.